Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. Thank you very much for being here. As always, I'm joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First and foremost, it's Mr. McSpicy. Next, it's Jordan.
Oh, hey, yeah. Did you want me to say something?
I did that. And last but not least, I am X1. Welcome to the show. This is podcast number 326. If you ever want to watch the show live, you can do so over at YouTube, youtube.com/X1Bros. We actually just got a super chat from Super Shark, so thank you very much, Super Shocker. Sorry, Super Shocker and Super Shark. It's
they're all the same guy. They're really the same guy.
It's really the same guy. It's just interchangeable. But you can come watch us live every single Friday, youtube.com/X1Bros. Come subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button. Be notified when we all go live. I've been doing the morning shows lately, a couple days a week, every Monday for sure, and then the rest is bonus is how I look at it.
I like it. Yeah, that's the
Start
attitude.
your Mondays out right. It may or may not involve me, nudity, and sour cream. Just as a teaser. Yeah. I love sour cream. Dude, sour cream is one of my most favorite condiments. That and mayonnaise. I can eat them both with spoons.
Mayonnaise?
I actually did it, and my wife gagged.
I know in Russia, mayonnaise, people just eat it out of a bag.
That's actually pretty gross.
And in Russia, though, because when it's like minus 50, you just need calories.
I'm going to go ahead and say that's pretty gross.
Dude,
no,
so
I know
good.
in Russia, they
mayonnaise.
just they eat it out of the jar.
Dude,
It's like
that's
cereal.
what I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got Russian genes somewhere.
You're Russian.
I guess.
It is.
I like mayonnaise, but
it is
that's
September,
gross.
and we have yet.
You're weird.
Thank you. It's September, and we've yet to get a price on either the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 2 weeks before. I think we're going to get it in because we know it's coming out in November. Yep. It's probably going to coincide with like the Assassin's Creed launch and Call of Duty. So around that time, I think we're going to get it like middle of October.
Yeah. That I actually think the end of October. I think it's clear at this point, right, that Xbox wants to undercut PlayStation and vice versa. I don't think it's. I think neither wants to release the price first. Clearly.
Well, at this point, it's too late. I feel like it's too late to make any like mass changes, right? Because I figure they're probably already in mass production and getting ready to ship everything out, right?
Yeah.
Because you know how they'll make like with the 360, they made changes. There's a story about Peter Moore. They looked at Gears of War and they decided to go with more RAM and they made that change closer to the end, and then they manufactured. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's too late for all those changes. So I really wonder if they're sitting there. If they're like you said, if they're like, okay, we'll just wait for PlayStation, then we'll undercut them by $50 or whatever, right? Or if they're thinking like, hey, how much of a hit can we take, and how low can we get? You know what I mean?
You know what I think's going on? I think how the Super Bowl, they print out like a hat that says they're the winners or a hat that says they're the winners. I'll bet you they have their marketing boxes.
Cheapest and most powerful.
Yeah, they have their boxes already printed out and ready to go, all in the factory.
And so they have to win.
And so what would that cost them? Like the boxes on that? Maybe $100,000, maybe $200,000 to have like, how many units? 30,000.
Depends if you go glossy or matte.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll take a hit. Well, if I had that kind of Microsoft money, I would take a hit. But let's hypothetically say that I do. I'll take a $200,000 ding to win the next console war.
Agreed.
Why not? So that's. I bet you they have multiple ones printed out.
Right now, it's like the end of the Batman trailer with the Riddler, and on price, it's just question marks.
Question mark.
Put that in chat. It's just like question marks.
Or there is the chance it could just be free, and that's why they haven't come out with a price yet.
Free for everybody.
Yeah, they're sitting there like everybody keeps asking us about price. No, there is none. It's free.
Sure, it's free. We just want you in our ecosystem.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Just take it.
Just take it. Sign up for 1 year. We'll ship you a box.
Your move, Sony.
Sony gives you $50 to take their box.
They start paying you. That's
no, really. What is the latest that you think we will get a price? I think you could get away with the last week of October, the week before.
Yeah, I think it'll be middle to late October.
Especially if pre-orders are going to be limited anyways. Like we know Sony says there's going to be limited pre-orders. Probably going to be the same thing with Microsoft. Then it doesn't matter when you release your. Like you can do it a week before and just get that rush of initial pre-orders anyways.
What was your
Have
question?
they announced?
the
Have they
latest.
announced that you can pre-order?
The
have they
latest.
announced that you can pre-order yet?
No.
No. So
So-
Sony did the thing you could pre-order the pre-order.
The pre-order, yeah. They said, here's a page, put in your email address, and you'll pre-order the pre-order.
Yeah, which we
And
did.
the reason-
which we all did.
We all
did.
put my
The
name
re-
in
we
there.
all did.
is it because you can't pre-order until there's actually a confirmed price? Right? Is that
yeah,
how
I think
it
because you
works
got
or
to pay
something?
for it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, a blank check. Remember that movie from the 90s? That little kid got $1 million.
dude, yes, he did.
Well, because like if you take a store like GameStop, you're only required to put like 25 down to hold the spot, and then you can pay the day of,
Yeah.
right? So, but at that point, we already knew like, oh, I put 25 down now, and we know it's going to cost $200
Yeah.
when it comes, right? So,
No, online pre-orders you've got to pay because that's what we did with you had to do the Project Scorpio online. We paid right there on the spot when you check out for it. So and you got to imagine it's gonna be limit 1 per customer, right? Like they're not gonna let you.
Didn't
do
we have to put like $5
Therefore.
down or something like that?
yeah, we didn't order
Well, we
our
had-
Scorpios online. We ordered them at GameStop.
I think,
again, we
no,
knew
I
the
think
price.
1 went online and then 2.
No,
came
no,
from GameStop,
you
right?
tried to order online, and then Amazon shafted you, so
Oh,
you
that's
went and
right.
got it in person.
That is right. That is what happened exactly. I love getting shafted by Amazon.
Yeah, sorry, Amazon, but sometimes you shaft us.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do real good.
It's like every time
Every
with
time
David.
with me.
Yes.
The best was when like my package by the Amazon.
The best is my package.
The official Amazon delivery guy just left it basically on the sidewalk.
he got out of his truck. He's like, it's the last one.
Yeah. Here you go. Right in front of the sidewalk. What? You can't walk it up to my front porch? Like what is going on? He did the same thing to Spicy.
Who did?
Well, and remember when the delivery guy, we had the same delivery guy, just leaves it like
Oh, like it was on my
basically
driveway.
on your sidewalk. Yeah.
Yeah, what an
Well, and
a-hole.
what's funny is he clearly didn't think there was anything wrong with that because you know how like they take a picture of it? He took a picture of it. It was like,
And
your
you can
package
totally
is delivered.
Yeah, you can totally see like
see
your
where
whole
it's
house
at,
right there. It's like on a scale from 1 to 10, I give it a 2 of caring about your package.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I called and complained. And then, so the next time, and he brought a package the next day, he knocked on my door. I wonder if he knew that I complained. And then, ever since then, haven't had that issue. Haven't had that issue at all.
Well, well done, David.
They talked to. Hey, have you been bringing the packages to the door?
Hey,
You're not a paper boy. You know
talking
that.
about
throws
prices.
it.
He's all on his bicycle.
Talking about prices for the Series X, we've gone back and forth. How expensive will it be? And there was an interesting comment made on Twitter this week. And I'm sorry, I apologize, I forget your name, who tweeted at us. But with the NVIDIA conference and the GPUs that are coming out, and
yeah.
what they're able to do with the GPUs,
Yeah.
perhaps these boxes aren't as expensive as we initially thought with what we saw at the NVIDIA conference.
I keep going back and forth. I see what these boxes are capable of doing, and I'm like, man, that's going to be an expensive box.
Yeah.
Traditionally, like it's I think $600 isn't out of the realm of possibility, maybe even more, right? Because of what they can do. And then you see the conference, or you see like you see Microsoft. I'm back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see both sides of the fence here. I'm
No,
like, well,
I
I don't know. I really don't know.
So, seeing the power of the new, like the RTX 30 series, right? The new
Yeah.
ones that are coming out.
yeah.
And their price points, there has never been. Oh, no. I think the last time a graphics card with that much power was less than the predecessor
Oh, yeah.
was 2004.
There was tons of memes out there about it. And then apparently the market's just been flooded with people selling their GPUs.
Yeah, well,
that
yeah, well,
announcement
yeah.
had.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it has more power and is less than the price. And the last time that happened was way back in 2004, a long time ago. Which tells me, I mean, you can maybe extrapolate a little bit of data there. What that in my mind tells me, I feel as though that wasn't the prices they're releasing NVIDIA. The prices they're releasing this as wasn't their original price point that they were going.
Sure.
I think the
The
consoles
consoles forced them.
forced their
Forced them
hand.
to match.
Correct. Force them to pull that price
Yeah.
down because they're moving early. Like these graphics cards are going to be out before the consoles, right?
yeah.
So I think they are. So they're moving. They're trying to get the edge on the consoles because the consoles have so much power available to them.
Are we upgrading? Are we upgrading our video cards?
I'm on so I do a half cycle.
on a cycle.
I get a motherboard. I get a new computer with my old graphics card, and then in 2 years I get a new graphics card on my old computer
I see what you're saying.
to
Yeah.
stagger the price. And
What are
then
they? $399 for these new ones?
$450,
$450?
$449. I
But
think.
being more powerful, though.
Yeah.
That's
Woo.
what.
Yeah, then there's
not bad.
extremely powerful cards coming out. They're extremely powerful, and those are that. I think that's the 2070. Or I mean the 3070.
Yeah.
The 3070 I think.
Well, it's all really interesting. Gaming, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Gaming in the next 5 years is going to completely change. Like we are going to see jumps and leaps that we've not seen before, and we're already seeing it. When the NVIDIA conference was proof positive of that. The launch of these next generation consoles is proof positive of that. I think it's good for us that neither PlayStation or Xbox has yet announced their price, because it shows they both want to compete with price. They want to be the cheapest box.
Or they both know that we're not going to like the price. Right?
Or
no, I think
that.
No, I think it's years.
I really think Nvidia's their hand was moved a little bit.
They gave up the price. I think we're seeing $499.
Yeah, I think.
And Nvidia undercut them by $50.
Yeah,
$40.
Yeah,
I think. I think the new powerful consoles forced the market a little bit for the graphics card, which is awesome, by the way, for us.
Yeah,
because that's cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. I want
to get that kind of power.
I want to upgrade my graphics card now. Like, why not?
Yeah, for $400.
Why not?
How much did they show? How much more power it was? Percentage-wise,
significant. Yeah.
All
really,
I know, the memes,
they benchmarked
and that's just the 70.
That's the 3070. Yeah.
The memes had like the 2080, and then the 3070, and the 2080 was like being destroyed, like blown up and on fire, and the whole shot.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very exciting. Guys, it is the beginning of September. Can you believe it's September already? But that means that we end with our Gamer Club Hellblade.
Yay.
Was last month's Gamer Club, and we get a new Gamer Club game for this month. Gamer Club, it was Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. The reviews, I love that game, first of all.
Got to play with headphones.
I did get to go back and play it a second time. I didn't beat it the second time. There's just so many games this month that have come out. They just all hit at once. It's oh my goodness. Anyways, playing it a second time, I think you appreciate it even more. We did get some reviews left. Reckham said Hellblade is an amazing, unique cinematic experience made on a much smaller budget than many realize. It's a shining star in the future of Microsoft's first-party content. Can't wait to see Hellblade 2. Amen. Ozzy.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Ozzy's just says he's looking forward to the next Hellblade.
well, like
as well.
like Reckham said, look what they did with no budget.
Yeah, no budget.
Imagine what they can do with money.
And the thing that they did so well in that is emotion and storytelling with sound.
Yeah.
It's a great addition. It shows you the value of Game Pass. That's a fantastic game. It's coming to Game Pass. I mean, first party exclusive, really good.
Do you want to say something else?
No,
Yeah,
sorry.
you-
I'm all over the place here. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
Do you
just-
need to
many
focus?
things are happening. Many things are happening.
What's happening?
Nothing. Sorry. It's just me. I'm just all over the place.
That's all right. You know what? You can just take your time. We're all here for you, man.
Take a deep breath.
This is a safe area.
Take a deep
you
breath.
can just tell
Guys,
your feelings.
We do a game club. The game club is one game that we play together as a community every single month. And like Senua, Sacrifice, Hellblade 2, this month, September's. They're always on Game Pass, by the way. Well, not always. We did Miami, which isn't on Game Pass. But we try to make them on Game Pass so that everybody can play. This month's a unique one, a very special one. This month's Game Club game. Join us over on Discord, discord.com or XoneBros.com/Discord. And join the Game Club channel this month's new Gamer Club, Game Club.
Oh
Game
my
of the
gosh.
month.
Just go for it, man. You got
It's
this.
Crusader Kings 3 or Wasteland 3, both on Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. Crusader Kings 3 or Wasteland 3, or if you're hardcore, go for both of them, baby. That's right. I myself am going to be diving in heavily to Crusader Kings 3. It is on Game Pass Ultimate on the PC, so you can go and jump over on that, or you can jump into Wasteland 3. That is brand new on Game Pass, and that's on both Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, so if you have PC, Xbox, doesn't matter where you play that. Let's jump in straight over to the reviews of Wasteland 3. We got a chance to jump into it and play it this week. Let's start with Jort the Man. Wasteland 3. Tell us about it.
I really enjoy it. It's basically like Gears Tactics and Fallout had the perfect child. It's Gears Tactics camera and combat style that what do they call it? Asymmetric top down, right?
Yeah.
So the combat is that strategic top down turn based, right? And then the Fallout part, right, this is the guy who originally created Fallout anyway, it's that RPG stuff. You can lockpick. Characters have specific jobs and attributes that you can level up with to do things. Like, for example, let me just run through my squad. Mark actually gave me the idea, because usually I don't pick names, because like you'll die and I'll feel bad.
Yeah.
But what I did is so this game is based around your squad. You can have up to, I think it's like 6, or you can have less if you want. Just depends on what you want to do, right?
Say. This is people make fun of me for what you're about to say.
No, I think it's
no,
cool.
no, what?
I think it's cool.
What, you're gonna name your character like Lockpicker?
No. I know I named him after you guys.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I usually don't like doing that because then I feel bad when you die.
No,
Well,
this is cool though.
In this game, because to keep track of my characters, I name them like a heavy gunner,
Yeah.
lockpicker, animal friend.
Yeah, well, because what's cool about this game is Animal Friend.
Because there's an animal
talking,
tamer guy.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
So you name them what they are, and then it's really
Yeah.
easy to level them up.
Because what's cool about this game is, like in Fallout, you kind of want to build your character like, oh, I want to be a melee character, I want to be this type of character. In this game, because it's a squad, you can have multiple of those. So, like, my character is focused on leadership and automatic rifles.
Sure.
I have a character named David. He's focused on big guns and explosives. So you find the
Yeah, baby.
explosives and you, like, take them out and stuff
That
like
is
that.
me. I
And
think
then
that's me to a T.
Yeah, and then I have Mark, who's focused on, he went melee and then computer stuff, right? So he's focused on all the computer stuff.
I like it.
And then I have a girl named Hawk. She's focused on sniping and sneaking, right?
She
so I
sounds
mean,
hot.
what's cool about this is like
She sounds hot.
She is, yeah. What's cool about this and what I like is in games like Fallout and stuff, you really kind of have to pick one of those. It's hard to be a jack of all trades, but in this game, because of the squad system, you can essentially be the jack of all trades by having individual squad members be specific at their job. And it kind of like adds to the game, like, oh, where's my computer guy in the squad, or where's my explosive ordnance guy in the squad, right? Which is really cool. Funny enough, I don't know if it's my command style or what happens, but you two always seem to shoot each other.
I was watching your stream the
Yeah.
other day, and you shot me.
I think I was streaming, and I think even the chat made the comment. They're like, "Don't you have friendly fire turned off? How did they hit each other?" And they still did. It was really weird.
Ah, this is actually pretty cool.
it
Yeah,
was
David,
really
you
fun.
watch yourself.
Is
okay?
it like one? Is it that we're staggered?
No, I think it's because I don't know what it was.
Is it an attribute where we're not accurate?
But friendly fire's turned off, right? I think it's.
Does he have a douchebag attribute that just pisses
Well,
me
you
off?
hit him too by mistake, and it was really weird. I was like, "What happened? How did that happen?" So anyway, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's really, really good. We're gonna talk about a few other things when we get to Mark. I think I have a theory about that.
There's
There's been some bugs. I wonder if because you've primarily been playing on the PC,
Yeah.
and I've had some bugs, but far less and less severe than what yours have been.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
But,
So-
and I'm on the Xbox.
So, Jordan
right?
the Man, give me a positive that you really like about the game, and give me one critique.
So positive, I think the game's fantastic. I love the squad system. I love the melding between essentially. The best way to describe it is XCOM and Fallout. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
come on.
I love the melding of the RPG elements with that turn-based top-down strategy.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's perfect. The criticism I have right now, other than bugs, I mean, there is some bugs in it, so we'll be waiting for that first patch, and we'll probably talk more about that in a minute. But it's really stressful to build all these characters because it's like, oh, who do I bring with me? Oh, dang it!
Yeah.
I needed a sneaky person, and I brought the wrong guy. It's actually more stressful than you think.
So
to
that's a
bring the right-
criticism, or is that
no? That's a
just-
criticism. Yeah, it's
really?
it's hard,
Because
man.
isn't that also what makes the game? That is the game. the
It
fact that
stresses
you
me
have-
out though.
It's a butt clencher.
Yeah, it's stress. Yeah,
Like,
'cause
when you have a
I've spent
character
more
named-
time building characters.
When you have a
No.
character named Lockpicker, you don't really care about him too much. But when it's named David and Mark and Jordan,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
then
that's-
you care. Then
I
you
get-
have to have them survive.
I guess
hilarious.
that's not really a criticism. The criticism would be there's a few bugs. Now I'm playing on Xbox, and I've had far less bugs than what you've,
Yeah,
and
I
far
mean-
less severe.
So
I've had some.
Before we go to Spicy, Jordan the Man, recommend this game?
It's on Game Pass, of course. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, if you have Game Pass, I think it's a for sure download.
Yeah, and who would like this game?
People that enjoy fun. Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly genre
If you like either Fallout or you like XCOM, either of the two, I think you'll like this game a lot.
Okay, very good. Spicy, let's go to you. Now, you played this on your PC through Game Pass Ultimate.
I played on both.
Yeah.
I originally started on the Xbox, but then I was like, what if I did it on the PC? Then
Yeah.
I could do
And
other
I mean, and it
things.
makes sense because mouse and keyboard with this game makes perfect sense.
I think it plays like the mechanics of it. Mousing over things is a lot easier than moving your joystick a little bit. But that's, it's not too big of a deal. It just helps me find things better.
Sure.
Because the mouse like goes brighter.
Oh, I see.
And when you go over items,
Yeah.
you know, so you do your classic action game scrub of the map to see if your mouse can click.
Yeah.
All right, there's something over there. I didn't, and I did miss some things on the Xbox because I originally played on the Xbox and I, redid everything on the PC. Which there's no cross progression.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate
on this.
Oh.
So if you start on one and you want to play on the other, you're going to have to start over.
I wonder why.
I know, right? That
Because
seems like
they're in like the same ecosystem. It seems like it should be possible, but maybe there's something there we don't know.
Maybe there's different. Maybe the console has a different game version than the PC. I don't know. But I think this game is a great game. So Jordan compared it to XCOM, compared it to like if XCOM and Fallout had a baby. I totally agree with that. I also would say this is. I don't know if I'm gonna get some flack for this or not. I don't know. But I really think that this is one of the closest games to like a Dungeons and Dragons style game that I've ever played. Just because of how deep the RPG system is and how the combat works and all that. And XCOM is like a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon. That's really like how XCOM works with your squares and stuff, right? I think this game is an amazing game. The problems I had with it on the PC hurt my feelings a lot, and I don't like to have my feelings hurt. So, and I complained to Jordan quite a bit. So I'll summarize it. Some of my characters are getting corrupted, and and like Jordan said, you spend a lot of time creating these characters. When they get corrupted, it's
a punch in the gut.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like especially when the character that was corrupted was your wife.
Oh.
Like in real life. Like I made a character called Megan.
Yeah.
And she was my animal handler.
Oh, I like
because
that.
she likes animals, so it just made sense. And then all of her stats got wiped and erased, and I can't add them back. And they were changed, and it was just the character got corrupted.
Weird, yeah.
And so it's really disheartening when that kind of thing happens. But if you were to not have that problem, I would say this is an extremely fun game. It's a really exciting game to play. I like it a lot. I've had problems with it on the PC version only. On my Xbox version, I've had none of those problems.
Okay. That's good.
So, whatever one you want to play on, keep in mind that I'm sure it'll get patched, but I've had some issues, and it hurts my feelings when this happens because I get so excited about these games that are good. I get excited about good games. When bad games have problems, I don't care.
Yeah.
But this is a really good game. I really, really like this game a lot.
There you go, guys.
It's an excellent game.
That is Wasteland 3. That's our first impressions of it. Don't forget, Wasteland 3 is our Gamer Club Game of the Month, along with Crusader Kings 3. We'll have some more about Crusader Kings 3 next week for you guys. I downloaded it. I didn't get a chance to jump in. What's interesting is they're both very RPG specific. And it's nice that Xbox and game consoles and I mean, it's just nice that we're getting these types of games regardless. It's very exciting. I like that that in-depth, create a character, live through that character, and strategy, right? It's the strategic aspect to it as well.
And there's a lot of variance, a lot of variability. There are some XCOM style games that are very linear. This is sort of linear, but the items and the loot tables are always different. Because I know that from playing the Xbox versus the PC version. The items I got weren't the same at all. So that makes replayability in this game very high. So,
Yep.
Cool.
Sorry, I got distracted by chat there. Let's move on to Marvel Avengers. It dropped this week, and we had a chance to play for it. Jordan, I want to start with you, and then we'll go to McSpicy. I want to get your first impressions of Marvel Avengers. Now, all along for me, I haven't had a chance to jump into it yet, but all along for me, watching everything that's come out about it, this could have went either way for me, right? Like what it was, like it could be bad or it could be really good. And now we have it. So what is it for you, Jordan? Talk about it a little bit. Give us your first
so I
impressions.
played last night and then before the show today, and I'm kind of split 50-50 with it, which is interesting. So, No, so there's some good things and there's some bad things. So good things is it's an Avengers game, which is cool. It's following your favorite superheroes, which is fun. The superheroes that you play as, the main Avengers, they're really fun to play as. I really enjoyed. So the first sequence is kind of probably what everybody's seen. It was in the demo. It's you basically jump between all the Avengers: Captain America, Black Widow, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, right? And it's really cool because they're all different play styles, right? Which is fun. It's very Tomb Raider style combat, which makes sense because it's Crystal Dynamics who make the Tomb Raider games, right? So there's a little bit more. I'm not against what are they called, dynamic events, but I'm also not really for dynamic events, quick time events.
Yeah,
there was a few of those in the opening, which I don't know. So that's just, it's just your preference on that. But that's very Tomb Raider. Like those are in Tomb Raider. It's very Crystal Dynamics gameplay style, right? It's an action combat game, which is really fun. So anyway, I like that part of it. The story seems like it'll be interesting, and I like that you get to play your heroes. And then of course there's a gear system that's fun, right? So those are all good things about it. The bad things about it, or the things that I don't necessarily like right now, and given I'm only a few hours into the game, so this is just first impressions, subject to change when we get the final review here.
Sure.
But I think, like I said, the story is good so far, and it has potential to be good. I think the weak point of the story right now is actually Kamala Khan, who's Miss Marvel. I feel like her levels, with the exception of the first one, because it was kind of just an introductory to the game, right? You play her at the very beginning, and it's just kind of like kind of show you how to do everything, right? Her next level, they're just very.
Can I say the word?
Bland?
That's
bland.
Exactly
like it's not like you go from playing Thor. Like for example, let's use Black Widow. Black Widow has this cool fight with Taskmaster right at the end of the tutorial kind of level, really fun. And then you kind of jump. And then there's some story stuff that happens, and you jump over to Kamala and Miss Marvel, right? And it just, I don't know. It's just bland. It feels like, given she's not fully leveled up yet. We're still early-ish into the game, but it was just bland. And what happened is you went from her, and you kind of had this, in my opinion, a bland experience. Like you're not really excited to, at least for me, I'm not super excited to play as her. And then you jump into this next level where you play as the Hulk, and you have an awesome boss fight with what's Hulk's enemy? Not Doomsday. What's his name? Abomination.
Oh yeah.
I mean, an awesome fight with him. Right?
I just finished that one.
And it's
awesome
so
fight.
good, and it feels like there's almost a high point with the Avengers, because I have a lot of fun playing with Thor. I just did Thor in the beginning level, but Black Widow's boss fight was really fun. Hulk's, I think, was so far. It was the second boss fight, but it was better than Black Widow. Like it was really fun, right? Fighting Abomination, and then it's almost like you get pulled back, Does that make sense?
No,
and I don't know if they're doing it to maybe just change the pace of the story. Like your main Avengers, I guess is what we'll call them, Hulk and stuff like that, are your kind of high octane missions, and then Miss Marvel kind of pulls the story, but just to do the pacing of the story and stuff. But again, that's just early. Of course, she's not fully leveled up yet, and we don't have all the we're still progressing through the story. But that's just I feel like switching back to that character almost takes you out of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I at this point, I'd rather just switch missions between the main Avengers like Iron Man, Black Widow, Thor, Hulk, and Captain America, right? As opposed to jumping back and forth how they're doing now. But again, that may change as we get further into the game. My other criticism is, and I don't know how I feel about this, and I'm probably, I'm kind of torn on this one. I don't like how they're hiding multiplayer behind the campaign.
I agree, 100%.
It's kind of, so you jump. The first thing we wanted to do was jump in and play multiplayer, right? Because it's like, it almost gave me the memory. I know it's a different game and a different style of game, but it almost gave me the vibe of like, Ultimate Alliance, where you jump in with your friends, you play the missions to have fun, right? It kind of was giving me that vibe, right? But first thing you do is you load up the game, and multiplayer has this big warning saying multiplayer takes place after the campaign and there will be spoilers, right? Which it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, it's cool that you're building off the campaign in your multiplayer mode, but it also sucks because I want to jump into multiplayer with your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's kind of, I don't know necessarily how I feel about that, but Anyway, those are my kind of two. That does count as one of my criticisms because it is kind of a bummer that it's like it made me not want to play multiplayer because I didn't want to be spoiled. You know what I mean?
Really turns you off.
Yeah, you're
when
like,
you go
oh.
to press, you're like multiplayer, play with your friends, co-op, all this stuff, and then it comes up. Wah, 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 wah. Do not play this. It will spoil your whole experience.
Yeah, and it made me think you know.
I guess I'll have to play through this game first, you know, kind of thing.
And I was really excited for multiplayer because that's where you're gonna, you know, you're gonna play through missions. You're gonna get gear. You're gonna build your gear. I mean, this is a live service game, so obviously, you know, they're gonna add stuff. Gear, I think, is gonna be important from what we've seen, and then from what we played in the campaign, right? But it was just kind of a bummer that they hid multiplayer behind the campaign. I feel like they could have told a really good story in multiplayer without spoiling the campaign. I mean, just told a separate story. I mean, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It's cool that they're building off the story from the campaign, but also I feel like they could have told a different story, you know, as well.
Sure.
But anyway, we'll see. I mean, maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe the story is so good that I'll be like, holy crap, there's no other way, you know?
Sure.
But we'll see as time. Those are just kind of my initial first impressions. So, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I like the game. I like the gameplay. I think the combat's fun. It's an action combat. I like the switching between the heroes because it makes it like Thor feels different than Iron Man.
Sure.
Iron Man feels different than Hulk. Hulk just murders everybody.
Sure.
He feels different. That he's cool. He's actually kind of my favorite right now because he just. I mean, it's like the Batman game. You can say he's not murdering people, but they're dead.
He's totally. When me and Jordan were playing,
they're dead.
We were playing on Party Chat enjoying the game, and the first it's every one of Hulk's moves kill somebody, even though heroes don't kill somebody. But when you grab a mortal, I'm gonna call normal people mortals, not like Thor. When you grab them and you smash them into the ground so hard that a crater starts appearing.
Yeah. And then you throw them off the Golden Gate Bridge. Don't people commit suicide off that? Like, I mean, that's
there's no way they're alive. Yeah. There's no way.
But even if you jump into Thor, like his hammer, he's just smacking people.
Yeah. There is no way that they're surviving all the bone crushing.
There's a scene where Iron Man uses his chest laser, right? And he burns through a metal car with it. And yet I use that same chest laser on just dudes.
Yeah,
and,
regular people with guns.
They're dead. Like it's the Batman thing again. Like they're not dead. They're just really hurt. No, they're dead. Like there's no way. But anyway, those are my first impressions. I like the character switching. My only thing with the campaign is I just feel like the weak point is just with that one character, Miss Marvel, Kamala Harris. Just because I feel like it almost. It's pulling you back too much, I think. You know what I mean? It's like you have these cool, fun, and I get that you can't always have a high octane, a high intense mission, right? But you have such an awesome first set piece, and then the next level is just kind of it's almost like when you're in the middle of the movie and it kind of drags and then it gets good again. Yeah, that's kind of how it is right now. Right.
Okay.
And
so overall, where are you right now on this game? Are you super stoked about it?
I'm
not
50-50.
excited at all.
I think they're doing a lot of good things, and I think they're doing things that are kind of you know what I mean? So time will tell, right?
Yeah.
Right now I'm 50-50 on it. So, and that's just how I feel.
And Spicy, agree, disagree with Jordan? What is your experience so far with Marvel Avengers?
I totally agree with him. I totally agree. There's this... You remember, was it Horizon 3? Is that the one that had the seasons? Forza Horizon 3?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I compare this...
no. Forza Horizon 4 had the seasons.
Forza Horizon
3 was
Three
perfect.
was split.
That was one in Australia,
around
right?
the map. Yeah.
Okay. So Forza Horizon 4, the one with the seasons. You remember that 5 hours of tutorial that didn't let you play with your friends? It's kind of the same concept here, in my opinion. And granted, this is my opinion. I don't think... I'm sure a lot of people like stretchy hands, you know, I'm sure a lot of people like Kamala's powers and everything like that. I'm going to say you're probably not going to agree with me because I do not like her powers, and I don't find them fun, and they weird me out. But that's okay that you like her. I'm just going to say that. I find her levels really boring.
Sure. Why do you think they're boring? Just not as like Jordan used the word high octane. Is that just not as interesting of a level? What is it? The bad guys? I mean, to have a good guy, you have to have a good bad guy.
It
right?
might be because obviously your main Avengers, we know more about. I don't know. It's hard to explain. it's like pulling back the reins, but almost too much. Like I said, I get that there's pacing, right? I think they use her levels to help with the pacing, like the story pacing. Because, I mean, you have this big set piece at the beginning, then you have her level that slows it down, and then you have a Hulk level where you have, as of right now, the best boss fight in the game, right? And then back, it's just, it's almost like too much.
You
know,
amped up a little bit.
Like I said, I mean, these are still early hours, right? So we'll see how it plays out.
See, and my thing is, and granted, other people might like her, but my thing is why put her at the beginning and only put her? It's discouraging me from playing the game. Like when I'm able to play as Hulk, for example, Jordan's talking about it. It changes entirely. I lean forward in my chair and I'm excited and I'm killing these people. Like they're dying as Hulk. Like if it didn't show me tearing them apart, you're basically doing that because the Hulk is so powerful, right? And it's all these characters. Black Widow, I love that character. I love Thor. I love Iron Man. I love Captain America. I love all these characters. And I'll be honest, I do like Fantastic Four. And Mr. Fantastic, he's an all right guy. I think his genius is great. I think he has a lot of good storylines and everything. I like that. But I think his power is one of the worst powers in the universe. Like
Stretchiness.
I hate that ability. I think, and it weirds me out. And even in the movies that they made him, which weren't the best movies in the world, like every time he stretched his hands and got that grin on his face, like it's
even
creepy.
The time he stretched for toilet paper.
I feel like
that was useful.
I feel like Mrs. Incredible does the stretchy thing, right? Though.
She's elastic though, because remember she turns herself into like a parachute and stuff like that.
True.
So she kind of uses her power a little bit.
So
better,
she morphs her body.
She's
like a morpher.
Yeah. I think I have like some sort of big hand phobia or something because one of the many reasons I didn't like the video game Brink and like Dishonored. I thought Dishonored was okay, but I didn't like the art style. It's because all their hands are bigger than their heads. Like they're just huge, so this is a very particular critique. That everyone listening should know that Spicy he may have some weird issues.
He doesn't like big hands.
That's okay. It's okay for me to have a different opinion, but I don't like that character very much because she freaks me out and I get weirded out, and that's whatever it is. Maybe I have big hand insecurities. I don't know.
So Jordan thinks that they slowed her levels down for pacing. Is that what it seems like to you too, Spicy, or what?
Well, yeah, but yes, they are. I mean, you're not like all the other characters are awesome. I don't know how to put it. Like we're watching Hulk just look at this. Boom! Those guys are all dead. You know what I mean? Like
so, it's a gameplay It's a gameplay feature. She's just
she's her gameplay, because each character is different. Like the Hulk feels different than Thor and Iron Man, and Black Widow feels different. Like they all have different gameplay.
And that's what makes Widow, by the way, is she badass?
Dude, her boss fight with Taskmaster
it's really good.
Is really good. Yeah,
I had to. You want to know something really interesting?
Hilarious.
So I'm sitting here complaining for like 3 minutes.
He's like, Jordan, that's bugged. What's going on?
Okay, this is really funny. This is actually really funny. So it's in the middle of this boss fight. Like I have to like chase him down or something, and I'm like, Jordan, my game keeps going into a loading screen. I don't know what's going on. Like, I think the game's bugged. It keeps going into some stupid loading screen. Well, apparently, I can't tell the difference in this game between cutscenes and gameplay.
Yeah, because he was like in the game.
Because I needed to like run and jump on something, but I kept dying. So it kept just resetting me to the loading screen. And I'm like, the game just keeps loading. I don't know what's happening. Well, apparently this game looks really good.
It does. It is a very pretty game.
So I just can't tell the difference.
Look at what Hulk is doing, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, watch this guy. Watch. This guy's going to die. He's... Oh, they didn't do it. Oh, because the guy didn't hit the button.
Yeah, you could hit the button to smash it on him.
Yeah. These people are dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
These people are
dead. No,
it's
it's hard to explain. Like, I mean, you're playing with the top tier Avengers. Black Widow, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, right? And then you come...
And then they force you into a many linear missions, where you can't play as any of those people, and you're stuck playing as her.
Yeah,
interesting.
And I don't know.
It's like Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. I think, like I said, I think the story is good, and it's interesting where it's going. Right?
I agree. The story's good.
I do think the weak point though is right now her character and
those
levels, right? But again, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, right? I mean, they might. I understand there's character development, and we might see her grow as a character. And so, I mean, we'll see how it goes, right?
Okay.
I mean, this is just early impressions, and then of course, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of how they hide multiplayer behind the campaign, but we'll see. We'll see if it's the most amazing story ever and it's worth it, and we'll go.
Well, there you go, guys.
I will say I am excited to see how they handle, because this has been touted as a live service game, right?
Okay.
I am excited to see how they handle the live service, what new missions we're going to get. We already know we're getting Hawkeye for free as a DLC. We know we're getting a lot of free DLCs. I'm curious to see how they'll handle expansions and go forward, right? I'm getting excited for that aspect because I feel like, and this is just me, I feel like they're kind of going to go that Destiny route, right? Where they're going to come out with some...
When you're dealing with the inventory, it feels very Destiny.
Yeah. Like the what are they called? Gear.
Item?
Gear. Engrams. No,
they drop like engrams.
No,
yeah.
you drop gear. You gear up your character, right? The object of the game, like in Destiny, is like it's okay to go back and do these things and play because you want to get better gear, right? You're gearing up your character,
Dude,
and then of
Destiny
course
was
you're doing
superheroes.
it with each character, because let's say you gear up Iron Man, then you got to go back and do Captain America, right? So there's a lot of replayability there. But I'm very, and then when they talk about live service, I'm really interested to see if they do like Destiny's coming out with their Beyond Light expansion. Are they going to do big expansions like that yearly? Are they going to do little DLCs? They already talked about a lot of their DLCs being free.
Just it's characters alone, like Superstar says, Ant-Man and Captain Marvel as well. Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah,
would be
Ant-Man's
so
coming,
Cool.
yeah.
Captain Marvel coming. You could do everything with adding characters slowly over time.
Yeah. I think.
So do you think this is let's say it's the 10-year Destiny plan, right? Like, let's just take that for right now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that. I get a feeling.
Do you think this is a good foundation for that to build on?
Well, I mean, we can't play multiplayer until we finish the dang campaign, so I don't know.
So you don't know
without being spoiled,
yeah,
right?
it's like it really is. It's a big warning. Don't play the multiplayer. We won't. It'll hurt your experience. Okay. So I have to finish Edward Scissorhands game. So no, anyway, and I have some things like Miss Marvel to me is not the Miss Marvel in this game. Miss Marvel, I grew up in the golden era of comics, the late 80s, early 90s, and Miss Marvel was not the Miss Marvel that's in this game, and so I'm confused half the time because Miss Marvel doesn't have big hands. She's like the female Superman in the Marvel world, right?
Yeah.
And it confuses me because that's not Miss Marvel, and
Yeah.
so I get really confused.
You're confused.
I'm confused.
boy.
That's not Miss Marvel. Why is Mr. Fantastic look like that? You know what I mean? I have some prejudices I got to deal with.
There you go, guys. There's our first impressions.
But I'm excited to see. It's interesting.
Of Marvel Avengers. Go check it out for yourself. We'll have more as we play through this. So stay tuned.
Can I just answer Fitzy's in chat? And why is there a Miss Marvel and a Captain Marvel?
Go ahead.
Real quick. This is the summary.
Cliff notes version.
Captain Marvel was like a Superman character in the Marvel world, he was male. And really cool storyline. He eventually dies. Spoiler alert. I think I can say it because it was 40 years ago. Really cool character. They had just like they have Superman and Supergirl, they had a female version of that character named Miss Marvel, which
She was really cool too.
she's an awesome character. And if you've ever read the X-Men comic books, she has a pivotal part of that story. If you've ever heard of Rogue, she can fly and she has super strength and she can touch people and absorb their powers for a short time. I'm trying to make this as short as possible. That Miss Marvel, Rogue wasn't always the best. She was with Mystique. She was on the bad side of things. Mystique made Rogue touch Miss Marvel to absorb her power too much, and Rogue touched her way too much and almost killed her, put her in a coma for a couple years. Anyways, Rogue stole all her powers. And that's why Rogue can fly and has super strength, is because she took it from Miss Marvel, right? So Miss Marvel was actually Miss Marvel. It wasn't until I think 2013.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, it's so what had happened, from what I understand, right? In kind of the modern age comic, Miss Marvel is the same character, Carol something.
Carol
something. Anyway, she changed her name to Captain Marvel, and then they recruited a new Miss Marvel, which is the one we see in the game, who is Kamala Khan, right? So, and it's kind of funny, like, a lot of people, it's one of those things where it's like, she just woke up one day and was like, I'm going to change my name to Captain Marvel. Yeah. So and that's where it gets kind of confused. But anyway.
So the Miss Marvel in this game is not the same Miss Marvel that was in the 90s comics.
Yeah, that
Miss
is...
Marvel changed her. She was just like washing her hair in the shower one day and was like, you know what? I'm gonna be Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
today.
so the Miss Marvel in the 90s and 80s is now Captain Marvel, and then they recruited a new Miss Marvel came in who is Kamala.
Interesting.
Yeah.
that's why
There you
my
go.
brain is all confused.
Yeah, it is.
Backstory.
Yeah, typical comic book universe.
Backstory.
Very confusing.
There you go. Let's move on. We had another game. Can you all these games?
Oh, yeah.
There's too many games.
And
right?
can I
How do you play them all?
Can I say it?
Yeah.
This next game is my favorite of the three.
Of the three that have dropped, well, there's more, yeah, but the three big ones that have dropped this week. Jordan the Man, tell us about the remake.
Yeah, Tony
That is
Hawk,
Tony Hawk, the
Pro
remastered.
Skater 1+2.
1+2.
1+2.
How is it jumping back into
remake.
Tony
Oh,
Hawk?
it's fantastic. I played this game originally on the PlayStation. I had Spyro the Dragon and Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh.
And those are the two games I played a lot. And this game is everything you remember and more.
Oh, baby. Oh, look, I remember this level.
Yeah, this is the first level. The warehouse,
And I
the
owned
school,
I owned the high school.
This was the level that I was introduced to Goldfinger to.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything I can.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm a Superman.
Yeah.
I was
Is it the same music?
So they have the same music. They also have new music, but you can go in and turn on and off certain songs. So
Oh,
if there's
okay.
like
Very
3 or
cool.
4 songs that you can like, you can just essentially have them on a loop, right?
I like it.
What's really cool is it's just if you played this before, it's like I said, it's exactly the same and more. Like
Whoever's
obviously
playing
updated
this freaking
graphics.
sucks.
He's
Dude,
play-
I
no,
know, even
no,
I-
no,
even
I know what he's
to do.
doing. He's not going for high scores. He's getting all the collectibles first, and then he's going to restart level and do the high scores.
He's got it.
Jordan's that's what I do.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
you've got to
get
go
all the
up. You've got to
collectibles.
get up on these half pipes and get those spins. That's how you
Yeah,
do
but
it.
see, he's not going for high score. He's getting collectibles.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, he's got to get the
David.
collectibles.
I
you
think
know?
he's an idiot.
So
What a moron.
The purpose.
You should play the game how David plays
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Look, you drop in right here, and you could be getting spins and be
Yeah.
combining them together right into grinds up to another spin.
Everybody listens like, what are they talking about? We're talking about, we're
Yeah.
watching some gameplay.
And if this is your gameplay that we're watching, I'm sorry, but you suck.
So this game, it's
Oh, dude, I actually remember that.
I remember that one,
Yeah,
too,
that's
yeah.
hilarious.
It's where the secret tape is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this game, it's an arcade skateboarding game, and what I mean by arcade is it's arcadey, right? It's
Sure.
it'll still take some skill, but it is arcadey. It's not like Skate where it's like more realistic,
Like a
right? This is an
skate simulator,
arcadey game,
yeah.
right? Like you're smashing. It's crazy. The goal of the game is you have so many levels, and you basically need to unlock all the challenges on each level has so many challenges. You need to complete so many challenges to unlock new levels, and then as you go on, you can. I actually am not playing as Tony Hawk. I created my own skater, and I'm like upgrading him and stuff as I level up, which is really cool. But it's super fun. Like I'm having a good time with it. I told both of you guys today. There's something about just listening to '90s punk rock and skating
Dude,
that
it is. It's good.
just gets you through the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me ask you this: muscle memory. Did it come back to you where you're like, "Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this control. Oh yeah." Because right now,
so-
my mind is going to triangle. You got to hit triangle on this. Oh, he's got to hit triangle.
So
hit
it was,
square to
what was
grind.
it? It was up and Y to do that thing where the handstand thing.
Yeah.
Now what they do is you can set special moves as specific combo combinations on your special list. I think there's like 8 slots where you can set special moves. I think some of the moves that I remember doing are now under the special move category, like the handstand.
Sure.
So I have to go into the setting and set my special move as up Y, type
Yeah.
thing, right? But it's I do the controls are tight. Like it's I think it's X, right? X is like you're holding the board to do
Yeah.
all your flips and stuff. B is kind of your kick flips and stuff like that,
So,
right?
let me ask you- so
obviously, A is your ollie.
One thing
right?
that looks different.
Y is grind.
I don't remember having to balance on the grind. Is that?
No, that
That was there. That was there.
Okay.
I don't think they had a bar back in those days. They just
they
had
did.
his hands hanging out.
I think they did
like
have
that,
the bar.
But,
Oh, okay.
but no,
What's-
yeah,
don't
you
remember.
did have to balance.
What's different, and why I'm excited to play this is the joysticks nowadays are a heck of a lot better than they were back then.
Well, it's sensitive.
Yeah,
let me give you that. If you flick, it's because I was grinding and I flicked the joystick and he fell the opposite way, so it's a little sensitive.
Oh,
so
this
just
guy's
heads up.
This guy's just not getting his momentum going, dude.
Well, he's not even
He's going for
Yeah,
collectibles,
he's not even
guys. He's going for
kicking.
collectibles.
He's just like
he's
gliding.
enjoying the music. I
yeah,
guess.
he's probably put a really good song going on.
I
No,
want to see some air, brother.
What's really exciting is I played this one a lot, and then I played Tony Hawk Underground a lot. I didn't really play number 2, so I'm excited to get to number 2 and go
Yeah.
through that. I'm going in order.
I only
I'm doing full checklist on all the levels, and
Yeah.
then what I'm really excited. One of my favorite levels was Downhill Jam.
And how much did this game drop for?
They got 2 different versions, I believe, a $39.99 and a $49.99.
Okay. Which one did you get?
Just the $39.
Okay. $49 just comes with all the collectibles.
Yeah,
for you.
to be honest
Well,
with
what's
you,
the
I
difference?
really like all the stuff they've added. There's obviously the new customizations. There's a level up system. There is a multiplayer mode, which is fun where you can skate together and just listen to music.
Yeah.
You know, but I love the customization, man. Like changing your board, your deck, your trucks.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah,
level
the school is
two.
level 2, right? It's so good. You can change your T-shirts and stuff. Oh, I'm forgetting, guys. The greatest thing they've added, and probably going to be one of my favorite modes, the Create a Park mode. You can create your own skate park.
that's
you can
cool.
upload it online. People are doing some crazy stuff. One thing I do like, and some people may agree with me on this stuff, a lot of the stuff in Create a Park is locked now because I'm level 1. You have to level up and progress to unlock those
that.
cool things,
Yeah, I do
right?
like that.
I like that personally
I do
because it
like
gives
that.
me a sense of progression, something to shoot for. Especially in like a skating game, because you'd think, oh, what do I want in a skating? Because they have cosmetics that are behind, certain levels and stuff like that. But all in all, like this game, I think it is a fantastic remake. They really did a good job. It feels like the original game. It has the new flair with their multiplayer modes, and then of course Create a Park, and then customizing and all that stuff. It's exciting.
Dude, just watching this makes you want to jump in and play.
I know.
However, this person is frustrating me because he's not picking up speed. Like you gotta use your momentum, man.
It's really fun. My
There we
character's
go. There we
pretty
go.
cool.
No.
I have a blue shirt. I'm wearing a blue shirt,
I like
blue
it.
long
Good.
sleeve shirt.
Good for you.
I kind of look like I just came from the library and I just want to get my skate on. You know? But no, it's out of the 3 big games. There's a few more games that we'll talk about during the news and stuff. But I know it's funny to say, and people may disagree, but this is the funnest out of the 3. Like Wasteland, Avengers, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
It's proof positive
This
that a
game
good
is
game
awesome.
always is good because the gameplay is just fun.
A good game where they took time and effort, and you can tell they care about it. They didn't just remaster it and make it their own. Like they remastered it, added new features which complement the old features.
Yeah.
But it still feels like when I was playing on the original PlayStation 1.
I think Disney needs to take note when they want to redo their stuff.
Yeah,
what these guys did.
Yeah.
Paid homage to
time
the
and care.
original. Took care.
I'm going to say it. The same with Final Fantasy VII Remake. You can tell they took time and they cared about what they were doing. They didn't just add all these features.
It was a love affair.
Yeah, it really
with
was.
the
They
game.
didn't just add all these features and say, hey, this is a modern. They kept true to the original while adding new features that complemented the original, right? Anyway. For $30 or $40, so it's $39.99. If you like skating, I see people in chat. The physics are completely unrealistic. Yeah, it's totally an arcade skater. This is not if you've only played Skate or that new one that came out, Skate XL. Like this is not that. It's completely
this is
an
the
arcade.
original Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it's completely an arcade
And let me tell
skater,
you.
and that's what benefits it. It's a good time.
Yeah.
So.
The strength of this game is not caring. Just listening to music and just skating.
Yeah, like
that's really why this game's awesome. So yeah,
So
I
anyway.
remember I could grind for so long. I was so good at the grinding.
I feel like they took out blood. I feel like when you slammed your face on the original PlayStation, there was a little bit of blood.
I think I remember that.
They-
as
they
well.
might have
There you
taken
go.
out
This
the
guy's
blood.
improved
Maybe that's
there.
the 49 edition.
Yeah, maybe that's it has the gore.
Yeah,
in
it's
it.
blood.
$49.
Maybe you got to go into settings and turn it on.
Well, I feel like when you fell in the original, it was more impactful because your character would go ooh, like he would like ooh, and you're like oh. Yeah.
Dude, I'm very excited to jump in and play this.
Yeah, multiplayer is gonna be fun. It was
Madden
just like skate around.
Madden 21 is here, everybody.
Ooh.
And
Another game that came out.
There's just so many games. How do you manage all these games? I don't know. You just have to pick and choose, right? So Madden 21 is here, everybody. If you're into Madden, you want to join a league, we have Dark Knight, who is running our XoneBros Madden League. I know he's running through a draft. It looks like it might be full or close to full, but jump into Discord, head over to the Madden channel, the Madden League channel, and just ask if you want to join the league. If not, you might have to wait a season and then you can get in. But Madden 21 is here. And we actually have a question from Rocket4 in regards to Madden 21. He left us a question. He says, hey guys, hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. I have a question for X1. As an avid Madden gamer, do you think the tsunami of hate Madden 21 has received in the last week or so is warranted? He said, I'm reading/watching reviews and Madden fans are absolutely berating EA for things like the continued use of microtransaction, lack of core features that have been requested by many, and elements of the game that have been copy and pasted from prior year's titles. Would love to hear your thoughts. Cheers from Atlanta. Can we pull it up as a
Sure.
Spicy, just while we talk? So in answer to your question, I think some of those criticisms are are fair. I think some of them are unwarranted as well. So in some of the reviews that I've seen, a lot of people are smashing them for it not being, it's an iterative jump, but every year is an iterative jump, right? So I had a chance. I haven't dove in fully into this game yet. I never dive. So my review of the game is a little bit different than everyone. I play this game for ranked online. I don't play, or if I do play, I play franchise mode by myself. Franchise mode, just in scrolling through it, looks about the same that it's been, which means it's not been improved. It's kind of fallen apart the past years, and I know that's one of the criticisms. They did upgrade some really nice things in gameplay that I like. Primarily running, again, feels really good. It hasn't, I mean, it's improved both years. Last year, it felt, I think running was at its best. I think this year it's even better. They also added a new game mode that I really, really like. When you talk about NFL Blitz, this game mode is kind of NFL Blitzy. It's called the Yard. Yeah. Well, it's called the Yard, and it's 6-on-6. You get 3 chances to go into the end zone to score. You've got to go 20 yards. It's like backyard football. You got to go 20 yards to get a first down.
Oh, okay.
And you can do any place. So you can hike the ball to anyone on the field, like anyone on your line. It's really cool. It's really crazy. It's like this new strategic.
It's like NFL Street.
It's like NFL Street. It kind of is. And I really like that. Super KO, they brought that at the end of Madden 20 that I really enjoy, and I think that's a great addition to the game. Where I think the game falls apart for people in a yearly release is with stuff like franchise mode, their story mode, which year one was really good when they first brought out their campaign mode, story mode, where you play through the story of a guy. Last year, I didn't even finish it. It wasn't that great. From what I understand, this year it's even less great. So I feel like that's someplace when people are paying every year, they want it justified with that, as well as franchise mode. Ultimate Team I've not been in since the first time it was introduced. When it was first introduced, you couldn't buy your cards. You had to earn them. Then towards, in the middle of Ultimate Team being introduced, then all of a sudden you could buy card packs. And actually here on the XoneBros, we had an Ultimate Team tournament, which we have never done since because people were just buying card packs and beating you. And so that's the ultimate pay to win in my mind.
I see what you did there.
So I'm not a huge fan of. I like Ultimate Team as if Ultimate Team was grind only to earn cards, because you have to do like certain missions to earn different cards and they have themes. I love that model, and that model to me justifies paying for a new copy every year. I do not think Madden at this point should charge every year for what amounts to pay-to-win Ultimate Team card style. And I would be curious what their numbers are. And this might be controversial. I'm going to pull a Jordan controversial statement right here.
Yeah.
I think Madden's model of yearly releasing with what they're doing is outdated. And I think it would benefit Madden and sports games at this point. Well, especially Madden. I think Madden, because of Ultimate Team, which would be amazing, again, if it wasn't pay to win, which is what it is for me. I would love to grind out cards and stuff like that. But I primarily play one mode, and that is ranked online, and it worked well for me. But I do think if they went to like a free-to-play by the add-on season, I don't know. And I don't even know if that's the right model either, but I just think the reason they're getting hammered is because I think some of it is justified. I think some of it is unwarranted. I think because of the big kids on the block, they receive criticism. Yeah. Because people just like to hate the big kid on the block. So some of it is unwarranted. Overall, the gameplay is really good. Like the gameplay mechanics, it's on point.
Smooth,
it's improved. It's smooth. I really like it.
They've had 21 years to get it right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, and that's what you're paying for. That every year it improves. I think it improved this year. My one complaint that they still not fixed, and in ranked online, this pisses me off more than anything. And it's not your internet connection. It is glitching on field goals. It's still a thing. I don't understand.
Even on this version?
Even on this version. This version, actually, I've experienced it at a higher frequency than I experienced it last version so far. And this is what I don't understand. Other games, FIFA is a prime example. FIFA you can play online, and I don't ever experience, granted, I don't play that as much, so it's limited, but I definitely don't experience it at the rate that you experience it here. I don't experience like lag glitches. Why, when I play Madden, ranked online or any online mode, why does it glitch out on field goal? It will screw you.
Yeah,
it will screw you.
You'll miss.
Yeah, it's the most frustrating
Is
thing.
it possible that it's also happening elsewhere? It's just this is the time section, so that's where you notice it most?
It's time because it's that you got to hit it,
Correct,
like, and you've got to get it correct.
'Cause,
it could be. Well, here's the thing: it does happen elsewhere sometimes. It happens like when you drop back for a pass. Sometimes it'll glitch. You're screwed then. And what happens is then your characters speed up, right? Like you'll see them like go really fast because it's catching up with itself. It's clearly a lag.
Does this game have servers or is it peer-to-peer playing?
I don't know. That's the thing. It feels like it's peer to peer because it happens so much, which I don't understand in 2020 why you aren't on dedicated
Especially
servers.
if they're having a buy the game model mixed with microtransactions, like a free-to-play model. This feels like this game is both, right?
Yeah.
No,
It definitely
So
is.
if you're bringing in that kind of
Money.
why aren't you giving the servers that kind
and
of
maybe
love?
and maybe it is we could probably Google it real quick. Maybe it is dedicated servers. I don't know.
But even then, they're obviously not working.
but
They're skimping
it's
on
been a
it.
consistent issue that I don't understand how you haven't fixed it yet. That's a big complaint. Overall, I think last year's Madden was a bigger jump as far as improvements than this year's Madden. I do like this year's Madden, but again, my opinion's flawed because I really only play one mode, and that is ranked online.
Well, I'm curious how they develop it. Like, is it the same team developing it every year? You have a live team who takes care of the live game, and then you have the development team who's developing, right? Because even if you take Call of Duty, which is a yearly release, you actually have different studios, so they have like 2 to 3 year windows to get their game right, so they have time. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know if they have multiple studios working on this. I mean, they probably do, right? But
Yeah.
I think what they should do with Madden is you should jump to a 2-year release cycle, and then your yearly game just have like a big patch. You know what I mean?
A roster update.
Yeah, like you do. It's essentially like 2020 is the game that comes out. 2021 is like a big, almost an expansion pass, and then 2022 is another full release, right?
It is peer-to-peer.
See why in 2020? Why are you peer to peer? That is, I'm
Well,
telling you.
the question is why are you peer to peer with the money that you have, right? I mean, because Madden's a big franchise, right?
It's a very big
they make
franchise.
a lot of money, and EA itself has a lot of
And there's really no other football games.
Well,
right?
I'll tell you what you could do.
No, it is Madden.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you could do. That I would pay for it with my play style. You could go just let it be free to play. Let the sports thing be free to play. I know you've got to pay for licensing for the NFL, which I'm sure costs you, and it's exclusive licensing. So I'm sure that costs you a pretty penny. But open it up free to play. Sell your card packs, right? Like you do. I'm sure you're making tons of money there. But then sell season pass, like not a battle pass, but season passes. So for instance, I would pay to do, okay, for the next 2 months, here's our ranked online season. The top X amount gets such and such,
Yeah,
or you
that's
get
good.
something. I would pay $10 to enter a 2-month season in ranked online mode, and you could do that with Yard, which is their new mode. You could do that with Super KO, and then give me dedicated servers so that I don't experience that. And you're always improving your game. You're keeping new seasons. Maybe you have different prizes, different trophies. Maybe you have a trophy closet or the Hall of Fame where you do something like that. But I just feel like it's an outdated model at this point, and especially it's an outdated model if we're on peer-to-peer.
Peer-to-peer?
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, it's a pay model and it's a free-to-play model.
Having said that, I'm addicted to. I mean, I just really enjoy Madden 21. I really like the gameplay. They did improve gameplay. One of the things that I really liked in last year's Madden, if you really played linebackers heavy, and see how he's outrunning that running back in last year's Madden. If you were the linebacker playing it right, a running back almost could never outrun a linebacker, and so you always played on defense as a linebacker. But in this version, it feels more accurate to speed. So linebackers traditionally are not as speedy as like your defensive backs or your safety. They're usually your faster guys, right? Your linebackers are usually your bigger, slower guys that are there to stop the run up the middle, stuff like that. So that way, defense feels better, offense feels really good, but stop lagging out.
Yeah.
Well, and it's right on the field goals and the
It's
kickoffs.
right on field goals. It just screws you up. But there you go. I don't know if that answers your questions, Rocket 4. To summarize, I think some of it is warranted. I think some of it is unwarranted. Rocket 4 is in chat. I would like to know, Rocket 4, what your thoughts are on that as well, or DM me your thoughts. I'd be curious. But overall, I like it. I do think last year's Madden was a bigger upgrade than this year's Madden, for sure.
All right.
But that brings us to the next segment of our show.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is it the news?
This is the news, baby.
Oh, we haven't.
Jordan the man, tell us.
Give us the news, buddy.
What few stories have we not talked about?
Yeah, so we
That
have
is happening in the world that is Xbox One.
Last week we got the Star Wars Squadron official single-player gameplay reveal. You get to play as an Imperial mission. You get to see it. It actually looks really good. It looks nice. It looks pretty. It looks like a fun dogfighting game. And now that we know the price is a little bit cheaper as well, it's also a little bit more appealing, right?
Yeah.
What's the price?
I think it was $40 instead of $60.
Nice.
So $39.99. Yeah. So.
Well, I got my Thrustmaster ready.
Yeah. No, and that's what
Whoa.
that's actually makes me more excited because I was worried about this game, because it's like, well, how much can I play this game? But now that I have the Thrustmaster,
You can play it all the
yeah,
time.
anyway, no, but it does look really good. I think they did a good job with it. If you haven't seen that gameplay trailer, it's really cool. They released it last week, so be sure to check that out. Speaking of sports, NBA 2K21 is now available. And if you're a big basketball fan, then 2K is the game for you because it's out now. And if you decide you want to get it on the current consoles, you'll get it at a $60 price tag. If you want to upgrade to the bigger consoles, you got to pay that extra $10.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole thing with that.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate. I really hope games don't go that route. I mean, right now, I think it's really the developer. It's up to the developer because some developers are doing it and some developers are not doing it, right? So it all depends, but it'll be interesting. But anyway, nonetheless, 2K21 is now available. Be sure to check it out. Also, a fun little game that came out this week as well, Dark Hollow. This one...
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know. I watched a trailer of it this week. When I was streaming, chat was talking about it.
Is it like the Dark, or the game that's like Rust style where you build your...
Kinda. The best way to describe it, and this is how chat described it to me, I think it was Psychotic Asian who described it to me, and we pulled up the trailer. It's Grounded and Pikmin combined in a game.
I've seen this
So
game.
you kind of put up your blueprints, your little Pikmin characters, or not Pikmin, but they're like Pikmin. go and build your thing, and then you got to defend your base from enemies that come in, which is really cool. So it actually looks fun. It did launch in game preview, but I believe it is available via the Game Pass as well. We already talked about Crusader Kings, but here we go again.
Guys, I'm
Crusader
so
Kings
excited
3
for Crusader
on
Kings.
Game Pass
I
on
have
the PC.
Game Pass Ultimate. If you're into role-playing games, if you're into grand strategy games, Crusader Kings is the game for you. It is. Crusader Kings 2 was my first entry into the series. I loved it. It does stuff that no other game does for me. It is spicy. Did you play Crusader Kings 2?
Not 2. You showed it to me, but
okay.
This game's out now, right?
It is out.
Yeah, it's
I
out.
downloaded it and I started to try to play it.
Yeah.
But the tutorial confused me.
Oh, it is. You'll have to watch a video.
Okay.
Once,
It's one
of those games.
Once you
The gameplay was just a screen of words. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, so it's think of Oregon Trail in 2020 as a grand strategy with armies and kingdoms. And that is
Crusader Kings.
that is Crusader Kings.
You have died of dysentery.
Yeah, basically. So what happens is with Crusader Kings, so this is Paradox Studios and they have other games
They're amazing.
Yeah, like Stellaris, real-time strategy,
Sins of
space
the Solar
game,
Empire.
Sins of the Solar Empire.
Yeah, very
they do
good development.
Europa Universalis, which is considered one of the greatest grand strategy games ever.
Okay. I'm sold just by having them develop.
Yeah, Europa Universalis, you're in charge of a nation. And you build that nation up. You fight against other nations. Yeah, in Europe. That's Europa Universalis. In the reason that I really enjoy Crusader Kings is because these storylines develop. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons, if you're into very story-driven games, this is Crusader Kings because instead of being in charge of a nation, you are in charge of a person.
A lineage, right?
And that person,
You got to do it.
you've got to get married. You've got to make decisions like
You got to do it.
get married. Who do you marry? Does that marry? And you'll start at a different level. Like you could just be,
Can't you have douchebag kids?
yeah. So you have stuff like attributes. Those attributes can determine like what kind of kids you have. When you're selecting your wife, there are give and takes with attributes with your wife. Like she's a total bitch. She's awesome. But if she's a total biatch, she is a strong ruler and people won't rebel against you, right? And so you got these give and takes, but maybe she's not as fertile as you'd like her to be, so she can't bear you children. So then your lineage dies, game over, right? Like
What
and
do
then-
you do?
And then so as it goes,
So lusty's the way to go.
as it goes, like you're trying
then
to
people
do
rebel.
and then there's religion and armies, and you're trying to, like, if you start out as a duke, you're trying to come up and merge all your powers. You go to war, you overthrow the king, you become king. As you go along, like something happens, such and such visits you and decides to do this, and you've got to make a decision. It gives you a list of decisions. Think of decisions that change the game.
Yeah. What's the war like? Is it like a risk type thing? Roll
It is
the
like
dice?
it is.
Yeah.
It's not roll the dice, but it is like Risk, and you can see your players on the map. The very cool thing that I love about this game, and what I would like to do for the XoneBros and for like our bonus streams that we do, is I'd like to do multiplayer with the three of us. Multiplayer in this game is real time. And so we could be like merging our armies together in real time and then going after the computer. We could be allied up.
Sleeping with each other's mistresses.
Maybe like I marry your daughter or something. My character marries your character's daughter or something, so that we can unite our kingdoms even stronger. Guys, this game, it's intimidating because it's
very intimidating.
It's so
I'm an Excel spreadsheet gamer and I'm intimidated.
Yeah, it's so intense and in depth. But I'm telling you, just look up a beginner starter video, like 15 minutes long, and you'll get it. And when you get it and start to jump in, it is amazing. This game is getting 10s from reviews. It's getting perfect scores.
This is the game where they had the Game of Thrones mod, right? Because it basically fits that perfectly.
In Crusader Kings 2, they had hundreds and hundreds of mods by the end of the thing, and hundreds of DLCs and add-ons that you could do. And so this is Crusader Kings 3, so it's starting over. But they've, believe it or not, they've really streamlined their menu system compared to Crusader Kings 2. And they've added some things that are really cool.
I have a question for you, because I've never played Crusader Kings. Yeah. But like watching this, like it looks cool and I'm excited. It kind of makes me want to play Civ. Like which one?
So
like,
Civ,
which one would you pick? You know,
Civ is like the preschool version. I'm dead serious.
That's scary.
Yeah,
that terrifies me.
It is like the preschool
Do you know
version.
how much I've stared at the stupid Civ menus of like, should I do science or should I go next?
So because like what we're watching here, for those of you that are watching live, is you're this king, see, and he's seen like, okay, who's over here, and your character can make decisions that help him with his people, hurt him with his people. He's going about a certain strategy, deciding like, okay, do I get married? Who do I get married to? Who do I make as my advisors? Your advisors have a huge role in how the game plays out for you. Some of them can betray you and backstab you and start wars within your kingdom against you. And it's so good. I really like this game. Crusader Kings 3, Game Pass Ultimate. Highly recommend
it's on
everyone
the PC.
jump on it.
And
right
it's
there.
One of the games of the month, right?
It's our Game Pass game of the month, so it gives you a perfect opportunity to try it out. That and Wasteland 3, so go try it out.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Call of Duty on September 9th.
I'm very sorry for swearing, guys. I was just very... Also, let me apologize.
You swear? I didn't even hear.
I said biatch.
Oh. Well, I mean, what do you do? Do you want?
But all the people you offended no longer listen to us, so you really don't need to apologize.
Sorry. Well, I gotta be better about that. I apologize already.
If they're still listening at this point, then it's just
Resident Evil.
No, Call of Duty.
Sorry, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Resident
no,
Evil.
you're right. Resident Evil. I apologize.
It hits Game Pass.
Yeah,
Resident Evil
another
7.
Game Pass game, because
Oh.
we're on Game Pass. Resident Evil 7, which, by the way, in my opinion, is one of the best Resident Evils. Resident
good.
Evil 7 is fantastic.
It's scary.
It is. They move. It's where they
creep
move it
factor.
to first person. They have a lot of cool things where characters come in. It's really, really good. I really enjoyed Resident Evil 7. Play it. It's on Game Pass for the console and PC now, which is really great. So give it a shot, because why not?
I like it.
Now, moving on to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, we're going to get the multiplayer reveal this coming Wednesday, September 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. So be sure to check that out. I'm really excited for this because I hope they're going to show I'm sure they'll show the typical Call of Duty multiplayer, right, which is there. I'm really curious to see what their ideas and what their vision is for the next, for Warzone, right? Because Warzone's going to... I hope this answers more questions, because I want to know what's going on with Warzone, what they're going to do with it, where they're going to go with it, how it's going to work. I hope we get a lot of those answers on September 9th for the multiplayer reveal. Very exciting. So, and then, of course, last but not least, also on September 9th, I will be streaming that day.
Outer Worlds, baby.
Outer Worlds Peril on Gorgon DLC is going to be available September 9th. Super excited. If you haven't played Outer Worlds yet, it's also on Game Pass. If you love Fallout, or even just kind of like Fallout, you'll like this game. Outer Worlds is fantastic, and I'm really excited to jump back in on the new DLC, Peril on Gorgon. I mean, just the name, Gorgon.
Gorgon is that the same name as the...
I think it's the same name as the people in that movie Small Soldiers, the Gorgons.
Okay.
Remember there was a small soldiers in the Gorgon?
What about Stranger Things? What is the Stranger Things?
Demigorgon.
Demigorgon. Yes,
Guggen.
I know what you're
Guggen.
saying.
Gorgon.
I know what you're saying.
I don't know. But anyway, really excited about Outer Worlds. Peril on Gorgon. I'm excited to see who's in peril, what Gorgon is, and where it's going to take us.
There you go. That moves us to the last segment of our show. This is a segment where we take your questions. To submit a question, you can do so each and every single week over on YouTube, youtube.com/
XoneBros.
Just XoneBros. Yeah, and hit the join button, become a member, and submit a question. You join us there and come to. Sorry, Super Shark. Thank you very much for the super chat. He says, "I'll donate every time you swear." Well, damn it, Super Shark. First question comes from the one and only Brian F. We're running a little bit late, so I'm just going to run through. Maybe I'm going to pick 4 of the questions here that we got. We got a lot of submissions this week. Brian F. writes in and says, "Where does UI rank in importance when deciding on a console for you?" Spicy, I feel like this is something that you would really take into consideration. Where does it rank in importance for you, UI?
I mean, it's important. I consider other things more important, like the controller I use, the friends that are on the specific console that I'm on. I feel like those are more important. But at the same time, it's really nice if you have a snappy user interface and it's easy to find things. I feel as though if I were to choose, hands down, the Xbox I feel I'm way more comfortable with. I think the PlayStation, everything in a line and you're never able to find anything you want is really hard for me to deal with.
Yeah.
I think the opening screen for the PlayStation, is really pleasant.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, let me add, that doesn't prevent me from getting a PlayStation. But it is nice when I'm not on the PlayStation playing games because I get annoyed with that user interface, right? So, I would say, I mean, early stages of the Xbox One, it was very sluggish. Now it's much better. But yeah, I say it's important, but where your friends are and what input you use is more important.
I also think we're becoming spoiled as gamers with the respect that with both the PlayStation upgrade to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, it's iterative UI improvements instead of a whole new UI. Like, for instance, when we went from the Xbox to the Xbox 360, whole new UI, 360 to the Xbox One, whole new UI. This has been improvements over time, and this is just one more improvement. It's not a complete shift from a UI, which I think is better.
Yeah. I don't like Sony's. I like Xboxes, but I like both consoles, so whatever.
Great question. Thank you very much, Brian F., for writing in. We got another super chat from Beast. He says, "Is David's shirt going to be our next producer shirt?" This is, for everybody watching live, this is our next producer shirt. For those of you listening, head over to come check out the VOD, and you can see the next producer shirt.
There it is.
There it is, everybody.
It's one of my favorites.
Great question. Great question.
Of course, all of them are my favorite because I make them. So
great question, Beast. Fancy El Chapo writes in and says, "Do you think the recent rumor that the PS5 backwards compatibility is less than what people expected, do you think that will help the Xbox Series X sell more units?"
Well, it's not going to hurt.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know whether it'll help or not, but it's definitely not going to hurt.
Yeah, we did a video about this. I did a video about this on our YouTube channel this week. I think it's not a selling feature necessarily, but it's another additional feature that adds up with all these other features that I think Xbox is going for a value sell. Like, we are the best value in gaming with Game Pass, with our I think they're going to try to price cut PlayStation. We're the most powerful console. We're cheaper. Look at all these values, and having backwards compatibility in the way they have backwards compatibility that PlayStation 5 doesn't look like it's going to have is just one of those added values. Also, you get to play all your games from your past consoles for free if you already own them, right? Stuff like that. So I don't think it's a console seller, but I think it's an added benefit to gamers.
It's kind of like the way I describe it. It's when you do the laundry, and then you're folding your pants and you pull out like a $10 bill in your pocket and you're like, oh, that's right. It's kind of like that feeling. Like, oh, yeah, awesome. I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this added feature that plays well with gamers. Yeah. That is good for gamers. Yeah. Absolutely. Great question, Fancy El Chapo. Thank you very much for writing in. We've got a question from Garbage Grove. All right. Garbage Grove writes in and says, "Hey, Brosifs. So I've been completely stuck on No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous lately, to the point where if I try to play something else, I always find myself back in my cockpit in Elite Dangerous. Thankfully, the new Tony Hawk remake and Borderlands 3 with my stepson have been helping with that. But I was just wondering what your guys' favorite space games are. I've heard you guys talk about No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous, but just curious if there's any other space pew-pew games you guys enjoy. He says,
Space pew-pew.
Yeah, he says, keep up the great work, guys, and thanks for making my work shift that much more enjoyable. Thank you very much, Garbage Grove. I think we've all been there with that kind of addiction to games, right?
I think, I don't know, like, it's space games, right? Like, what...
It doesn't matter the genre, it just matters space?
Space, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
StarCraft is amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, there you
StarCraft
go.
is...
StarCraft is one of the best
Well, he
games
did
ever
say
made.
space pew-pew.
Yeah, so just...
Well, you do
So-
pew-pew a lot in that game.
So... I don't know. I kind of would hate, like, if I had to pick one, and you guys will probably be different than me. If I had to pick Elite Dangerous or No Man's Sky, where No Man's Sky stands right now,
Yeah.
I think I'd lean towards No Man's Sky for my space
Sure.
game. You know what I mean? Because it's
Well,
just
we all know you have an agenda against Elite Dangerous. You hate that game.
I don't hate it. I'm just like, oh, what do I do now?
Well,
Well, it's because we forced you to play it.
well, we do have the Star Wars Squadron game that.
Yeah,
is
see, that one's coming out
this year.
too, which could be really fun, right? No, I like, and this may change because Elite Dangerous is coming out with that new DLC. But I like the fact in No Man's Sky that I can get out of my ship and build.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I like that aspect, right? It's really fun. Right?
I think another really good space game that is different is Eve's a good one if you want the MMO experience, the crazy MMO experience. But Stellaris, we just talked about it. If you're into real-time strategy in
that
depth
game's
and
nuts.
you want to merge that with space, this game that game does it for you. You take over planets, you go to battle, you can do sabotage, diplomacy, war, doesn't matter, all in space, and it really does nail the vastness that an Elite Dangerous or a No Man's Sky has as well.
Yeah,
With that. Loyal Dole in chat says Halo counts as a space game.
it does.
I
you know,
mean, if
it
we're
takes
doing
place
any
in-
genre,
yeah,
we
I
could
mean,
do-
it does. Hey, Halo does, and Halo is one of my favorite games.
Yeah,
Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time is still space.
But I think if he's Elite Dangerous,
Galac's a great one.
if he's Elite Dangerous and
that's
No Man's
definitely a
Sky,
pew-pew.
I think he's looking more towards that genre.
Yeah, that genre. No, I would. I mean, it's because there's not. How many are kind of in that genre? You got Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky. You have Eve. I guess would count in that. You have Star Citizen, which will never come out.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I mean, it's kind of a. Would
Fitzy
you call it
says
a niche
Outer
genre?
Wilds? Yeah, Outer Wilds. A lot of people have talked about, and they really,
what's
really
that?
like
What's
Surviving Mars.
What's
is
that?
another one.
What's that new one that came out? I've not played it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Something on a dangerous planet, space on a dangerous something like. Yeah, I gotta look it
don't
up.
know.
I gotta find it.
Look it up.
Something on a Dangerous Planet would be a great game.
Yeah, something on. No, it's
You never know what you're gonna get.
It gave me No Man's Sky vibes. Someone in chat probably knows what it is, but it's. I think it's on Game Pass.
Astroneer.
Wait, was this the one that was at the Xbox reveal?
No,
That one?
what's it called? It's like, I don't know, like Alone on a Savage Planet or something like that. Let me look it up.
Now they're getting more romanticized
Yeah,
every
this
time you
sounds
say
like
the
a-
title.
it's like a
Journey to the Savage Planet. That
There
was it.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. That's that space game. See, I knew it was something like that.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Matt
thanks.
Baldwin.
Yeah, no, that one I've not played it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things, and it looks really fun. It kind of gives me that No Man's Sky vibe.
I will
you know?
say, if you enjoy the Elite Dangerous No Man's Sky flying around and exploring, that's kind of the appeal, especially to
Yeah,
getting lost in space in your aircraft. Chet has just thrown us here.
Yeah,
I will
funny.
say, I will say, Garbage Grove, a game that you will like that translates well. It's not a space game, but it translates well, and I think someone in your situation playing these types of games would really enjoy, and that's Microsoft Flight Simulator. That has that
very
same
good.
that has that same feel of exploration.
Maybe they'll have a
of-
space expansion.
Maybe they will. But no,
Space Marines.
it has that same technicality that
Yeah.
Elite Dangerous
Very
has of being in your vehicle and exploring the galaxy. This is exploring the world and flying around, but a very similar feel. In fact, a lot of guys that I follow on YouTube who are into Elite Dangerous have now moved over to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and they jump back and forth between the two.
I've actually just had a thought. I've never done this in my Microsoft Flight Simulator. If I turn off stalling, I wonder how high the game will let me actually go.
You can turn off stalling.
Yeah,
Well, let's figure it out.
yeah. I
Go
wonder.
where no man has gone before.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I wonder how high I can actually go. Maybe there actually is space content in the game. No one's ever just pulled up that much.
Let's do two more questions here. Colm Brown writes in, and he says, "Hey bros, Hope you're doing great. My question
That's
today.
the question.
Hey, bros, hope you're doing great. Oh, we're doing
Yeah,
great.
we're doing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Next question.
He says, my question today relates to the console prices and taxes. He says, I'm in the UK, and when we see console prices in pounds and USD, they are much closer to each other than the actual exchange rate would be. Our prices always include taxes, so do your stated console prices at E3, for example, show the price before tax, or are we just getting screwed over in the UK? The prices that you see are before tax. Everything taxes.
You basically add $100 to
Yeah.
whatever it is.
If you're, it depends the state and city that you're in, you're getting taxed more. So make sure you always buy it in.
Basically,
like where we live, it's
we're
great.
we're all getting hosed with taxes.
Where we,
Right?
yeah,
That's
the whole
just,
world.
That's a worldwide thing.
Whole world
right?
of
You know,
Texas,
it's
we get
that's-
hosed.
Yeah, it's,
So there you go. Great question though, Calm Brown.
Taxes suck.
yeah.
I do want to go to Stick Remix. Let's end with Stick's Remix question here. He says, with Marvel Avengers launching, do you think the future of gaming will see an increase in games as a service type games? He says, I imagine a Halo or Forza service type game could be infinitely profitable, pun intended.
I see what you did there.
How does this compare to traditional DLC or content map packs? Stay safe and happy fall. Thank you very much, Sticks Remix. I think that is the future.
I think it's probably the most profitable for the game developer, games as a service, right? Because you're continuously making money off that game, right?
Sure.
Theoretically, I think certain games lean towards it more than others. I mean, Halo Infinite. I mean, have they fully announced that it's games as a service yet? I mean, I don't. It kind of seems like it's gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think they've really come out with hard, concrete stuff on what their post-launch stuff is going to be.
I don't think you ever. I don't think from like a PR standpoint, you don't really refer to yourself as a game as a service. For instance, does Destiny refer to itself as a game as a service, or Fortnite for that matter? I don't think you ever refer to yourself as that.
Yeah.
I think you use your own
terminology,
right, to describe it. But essentially, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's the future. And
No, I think it's not a bad model. You know what I mean? It's essentially it's kind of like the MMO model, right? I mean, you would pay your subscription fee, right? You'd get patches throughout the year, and you'd then get a big expansion. Then you'd get more patches throughout the year, right? So, I mean, it's basically that model, just made a little bit more consumer friendly in certain circumstances, right?
Yeah, that was my question.
But
is it consumer friendly? Does it benefit consumers?
It's hard to say. Like, I don't know. It's
I feel like it is.
Well, it's probably more consumer friendly because I'm getting patches and DLCs and stuff like that without paying a monthly fee, right? But that being said, some of those patches and DLCs aren't really worth the $20 or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's where it's consumer friendly. So let's take like a Fortnite, right? And I know this is an overused example, but it's the most obvious. Fortnite, I can pay my $10 to jump into their battle pass. I can also buy in-store items if I so choose to, but I'm never forced to.
Yeah.
I can enjoy the game 100% with my friends at all times. I can experience their new story, their new stuff. If I decide to really dive in heavy, we could also use Apex and Call of Duty Warzone as an example like this. If I decide to dive in heavy, I don't have to pay for the next season. I don't have to pay for anything extra, but I still get to experience all of the content with my friends.
Yeah, I mean, let's take Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft for an example. $15 a month. I mean, yeah, if I decided not to play, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. If I decided not to play that patch, I can just unsub for that month, I guess. But then I can't play the whole game at all. Whereas if I decided to not buy the expansion for Destiny, I could still play the rest of the stuff I enjoy. You know, so I guess I would lean a little bit more towards it's more consumer friendly.
Yeah,
it's a more consumer friendly MMO model.
What I think it does is it gives you options, and so I think it gives you both consumers and developers options. Right, developers can. If something's not working, they can shift and say, okay, well, maybe this will work. And I think it's also consumer friendly in the respect that if it's not good, what they're offering, nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah. What's hard is when you lock things behind those expansions, though, right?
Yeah.
Like certain gear and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where
so
Destiny
the expansion
is walking.
may suck, but I want, the newest Fatebringer, so I have to get this expansion, you know what I mean? But I mean, actually, I think Destiny's doing a good job to where
Destiny,
you're only paying for kind of story, like everything is available to players, like all changes, but you're paying for the story type. I actually think Destiny's doing a good job.
Warzone is kind of following that same model too, where you can buy the next story campaign, but regardless, you get to experience the change in their multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
So Spicy, any thoughts on
Sounds
on
good.
games as a service going forward? Do you think that's the future model, kind of like what Halo Infinite's doing, what Marvel Avengers is doing? Or do you think it's just one option will continue to have equal different types of models?
No, I think it is. I think you're still going to have your traditional stuff, but I think it is for the majority going forward. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at something like Crusader Kings. I'm just sitting here picturing it as a game as service would probably crush it, right? Like free for everybody. But you want the Game of Thrones mod? Well, guess what? That's what we're doing this season. You can get it for this, or something. I don't know exactly how you would do it with that, but it's very interesting. It's an interesting time to be a gamer. Again,
Yeah.
just gonna
Well,
say
that's how they do it, because games as a service doesn't necessarily mean free game, right?
Yeah,
Like Destiny
yeah.
is a live service game, but it's not a free
Like a
game,
Madden.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
yeah.
You have to pay it. How many times you have to pay for that game in many different ways?
So I mean, it just depends on how they implement it, right?
Yeah,
But-
no, exactly. Great question. Thank you very much for writing in. Thank you, everybody, for writing in. That does us for today, for this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please head over to iTunes, rate, review, and subscribe to us there. It really helps the show. Also, come and subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/positive gaming or /X1Bros. Either one works, surprisingly enough. I don't know how we have both, but we do.
we have both of what?
Yeah, I
Where
think it was
else?
before YouTube did a thing. But yeah, we have youtube.com/X1Bros and positive gaming.
We're awesome, man.
Yeah, it's just
That's
because
just the
we're
best.
awesome. I will be playing a lot of golf, PGA 2K21. It's such a good game. I'm loving it. We have our online season going right now.
I'm ready to unlock all the multiplayer stuff in Avengers because it's got potential.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for that rinse and repeat.
I don't have no
Go-
idea what to expect, but yeah.
Gear grind.
Yeah, no, I got a really busy week. We got Avengers, we got to play.
Oh, I want to play some Tony Hawk.
We got
Don't forget Tony
Yeah,
Hawk.
we got Tony Hawk. And
Don't
then
forget
on,
Crusader Kings.
Crusader King on Tuesday.
Wasteland.
Wasteland 3
Yeah,
is
Wasteland's
there,
there, and then on Tuesday we have Kingdoms of Amular remastered.
Oh!
This is too much.
That feels
Which I
good.
actually think when that comes out, that might be like
The
Tuesday
game.
forward.
The game you go
It's
for.
gonna be, well, because it's just like it's almost like what Fable 3 should have been. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
it's-
what do you do? Like, there's so many games. What do we...
you call in sick to work?
Yeah, just don't
I
work.
can't.
Just don't work.
I mean, you could.
Oh, I can do that though.
Don't work.
I can just not work.
If you had enough money to, would you
I would not work.
just not work and play 8
No,
hours a
I
day?
can't do that. I need to. I have to work. I don't have the.
Your work is playing and beating all of the games to talk about it here on the show.
Go do yard work.
I can't do that either. I'm lazy with yard work. I hate yard work. Yard work was punishment for me as a kid. Can't do it. My wife loves it, which is we're a great team.
That's good. That's good.
Anyways, you want me to punch that button?
Yes,
Yay.
guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your week. Jordan?
Yeah.
One final thought as we head out here. Give it to us. Words of wisdom.
Hurry.
Hurry.
I
You got something to
I
say?
really don't know. You can't put me on the spot.
Spicy,
like
words
that.
of wisdom. You got 15 seconds.
Always tie your shoes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Make sure to wait like 10 seconds before you hop in the shower so the water heats
Yes.
up.
Yeah.
Brush your teeth before kissing.
That's
'Cause
good.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's good advice. There you go.
Have a good
everybody.
one, everybody. We'll see you next week.